All right, so yesterday I was at Fred Reyes Nurseries and I found this awesome, it's called an Arctic Frost Satsuma. It's what most of us probably know as like a cutie or a clementine kind of. What's really cool about this is it is a frost tolerant citrus. And what they mean by frost tolerant is that this is actually frost tolerant down to 10 degrees. It's cold hardy down to 10 degrees. What does that mean? What it means is that once this plant's roots are established and it is in the ground, it is cold hardy to 10 degrees. That does not mean if you keep it in a container, it is cold hardy down to 10 degrees. If you were to keep this in a container, it's not going to be as tolerant. You want to keep that in mind anytime you buy a frost tolerant plant. It doesn't always mean it's frost tolerant in a container. It means it's frost tolerant when you put it in the ground and it has established roots. So keep that in mind. We're going to be putting this in a Vigo rolling container. We got some Landscaper's Pride Gardener's Magic right here. I filled it up about halfway already. We'll go and add some more. It's really windy today. Go and add some more. This is really good stuff. It's got a lot of pine bark mulch in it, so that's a really good drainage. What's cool about these rolling containers is they have that wicking cell at the bottom that allows for not having to water your citrus so often, because all the excess water is going to collect down there. The roots will be able to travel south, get that water when they need it. So it's really, really neat. Let's see how much more soil we need. You're going to keep this above ground. You don't want to bury this too deep. This is actually not a grafted citrus tree. You can see right here, I don't believe these are grafted actually. I was doing some research last night and I'm pretty sure these are not grafted. Not an obvious graft line either. So go ahead and pop that off. Gonna sit it down in there. And that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good sitting high up. I don't want to bury the whole root ball. So what I will do before I get to filling, keep it like level with the top, you know. There's gonna be some sinkage. It'll sink a little bit. But we'll go ahead and add some. This is Nelson Plant Food Genesis. This is their transplant mix. I've been using this stuff for over a year now, and I have not had issues with wilt or transplant shock. I just sprinkle some at the bottom and let it do its thing. But we'll go ahead and get this topped off. I've been a big fan of these rolling beds for a couple years now. I'd almost given up on all citrus until I found these, and now I plant all my citrus in these rolling beds. That way I can roll them into the garage, roll them into the greenhouse. They are a little more expensive than, you know, your regular container, but it's heavy duty. I mean, it's metal, it's coated, it doesn't rot, it doesn't rust. You think about some of the other stuff you would put like a big citrus tree in, and they don't last that long. So I'm not having any issues with these. The wheels aren't rusting out. So I think we usually get these rollers in a 2-pack for like maybe less than $300. If you get a terracotta pot this big, put your citrus in, you're looking at least like $100 something, you know? So think about like longevity, you know, what you're gonna be doing with your citrus in the long run, and, you know, not having to buy citrus every year too. When you think about you buying a new citrus tree every year, that's $40 right there. So I mean, add it up. It makes sense to go ahead and invest in something long-term, so you don't have to keep doing that. So I'm fairly certain that a Satsuma is very similar to a clementine or a cutie, which I eat in my lunch almost every single day. So I'm super excited to get some of these growing in the backyard. We have the calamundins and they're super sour. These are sweet, these are not sour. We're gonna pack this in, get it all situated. I'm gonna pack them in really nice and tight. It's already been staked up pretty well, so I'm not worried about replacing that right at the second. And once the roots are established, you don't really need to worry about it. I honestly, I talk about gradual repotting on my channel a lot with citrus and other fruit trees, but for citrus, when it comes to citrus, if I have the rolling bed available, I'll go ahead and plant it in here. I mean, I may not get as much fruit immediately, but sometimes it's just easier not to repot, especially as big as this was. The ones I put in the smaller containers last fall were much smaller than this. Way smaller than this, and I paid like $7 for them. So but this turned out really awesome. We're gonna put some Nelson Plant Food. I got the last of my citrus fruit and avocado. We're gonna sprinkle this out in here. and then we'll go ahead and water it in. We're just gonna water this in really, really well. Once you do a transplant, sometimes you'll get some wilt. So we're gonna go ahead and give it a really good watering. It'll be on the porch where you'll be getting like midday to afternoon full sun. My citrus do really well in the back patio, honestly. I've got the 4 citrus that I have in the greenhouse. I'm probably gonna leave them in the greenhouse. I'm probably not gonna bring them out of the greenhouse, honestly. But I have 2 more rollers. I got one right here. I got a big Meyer lemon in a container that I need to plant. So gonna have probably 6 or 7 citrus trees this year, which I had told myself a couple years ago we're not gonna bother with anymore. And then they came out the rolling bed. So we're gonna water this one in really well. For the first couple of days, we're gonna water it every single day. Got cool, mild weather right now, so it's not rough on the plants. Now is a really good time to get your trees planted. I could have planted this in the ground, but I just don't have the space, and I want to take this with me when I go eventually. Don't plan on being in HOA hell for the rest of my life. So I want to take all my fruit trees with me. That's why everything's in containers out here. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video. I hope you, you know, maybe get interested in getting one of these Arctic Frost Satsumas, these cold hardy fruit trees. They make a bunch of different, they call them frost varieties of citrus that are more cold tolerant with all these cold snaps that are coming through Texas now. So hope y'all enjoyed this video. Good luck with your gardening this spring. If you got any questions, drop them down below, and I'll see you on the next video.